In these next many videos I'm gonna be showing you how to play the major chord on the guitar in the original form. So if you ever wondered how to play them or you're just a little bit in doubt, this video is gonna be great for you. So stay tuned and I will see you in the next video. The A major chord is made up by the A, the C sharp and the E, and is played on the guitar with open 5th string and then 2nd fret on the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string, and then open 1st string. You play it from the 5th string down. You don't play the 6th string, you leave that one out. So 5th string all the way down through the 1st string. And the most common way to put your fingers in this chord is you put your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and you put your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, leaving the 5th and the 1st string open. I would recommend that this is the way you practice it the most, because this is probably how you're gonna see it most often in songs. An alternative to how you can put your fingers is that you use your last 3 fingers instead. So now you put your 2nd finger on the 4th string, and you put your 3rd finger on the 3rd string, and you put your 4th finger on the 2nd string, still leaving the 5th and 1st string open. A very common way you also see this chord played is when you bar your 1st finger across the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string, and you arch it so you don't block the 1st string but you leave that one open, also the 5th string, and you strum it from the 5th one and down. And that is how you play your A major chord. The B major chord is made up by the B, the D sharp and the F sharp, and is played on the guitar with 2nd fret on the 5th string, and then 4th fret on the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string, and then again 2nd fret on the 1st string. You only strum this chord from the 5th string down, so you leave the 6th string out, you don't play that. 5th string all the way through the 1st string. The most common way to play this chord is the 5th string bar chord, where you bar your 1st finger across the 5th string all the way through the 1st string. And then on the 4th fret you put your last 3 fingers. So you put your 2nd finger on the 4th string, you put your 3rd finger on the 3rd string, and you put your 4th finger on the 2nd string, all of them on the 4th fret, and you strum from the 5th string all the way down. And that is your B major chord. The C major chord, very important chord. You absolutely need to know this if you play guitar, because you will see this one in most songs you're going to play. It's made up by the C, the E and the G, and it's played on the guitar with the 3rd fret on the 5th string, 2nd fret on the 4th string, open 3rd string, 1st fret on the 2nd string, and open 1st string. You play it from the 5th string down, so you leave the 6th string out, you don't play that. 5th string all the way down through the 1st string. And the way you put your fingers is you put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and you put your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, still leaving the 3rd and 1st open. And that is your C major chord. The D major chord, super important chord. You absolutely need to know this one, because it will come up in many songs you're going to play. So practice this one a lot. It's made up by the D, the F sharp and the A, and it's played on the guitar with the 4th string open, then 2nd fret on the 3rd string, then 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and then 2nd fret on the 1st string. You play it from the 4th string down, so you leave the 5th and 6th string out. You don't play those. Only from the 4th string all the way down. The way you put your fingers in this chord is you put your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, you put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, playing it from the 4th string down. And that is your D major chord. The E major chord It's made up by the E, the G sharp and the B, and it's played on the guitar with open 6th string, then 2nd fret on the 5th and 4th string, 1st fret on the 3rd string, and then open 2nd string and 1st string. You play all 6 strings in this chord, starting from the top, playing all the way down through the 1st string. The way you put your fingers is you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, you put your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and you put your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, leaving the 6th, the 2nd and the 1st string open. Alternatively, you can also put your fingers like this. This will come in handy when you start to play bar chords. It's not the most common way to play this chord, but it is good to practice it so you get ready for the bar chords. Here you put your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, you put your 4th finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and you put your 2nd finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, still leaving the 6th, the 2nd and the 1st string open. I would recommend that you play the first version the most, because this is the most common way to play the chord and the way you're gonna see it most often in many songs. Practice this one a lot, but also have the alternative. And that is how you play your E major chord. The F major chord. Very important chord to know. You will see this one in many songs, so practice this one a lot. It's made up by the F, the A and the C, and it's played on the guitar with 3rd fret on the 4th string, 2nd fret on the 3rd string, 1st fret on the 2nd string, and 1st fret on the 1st string. It's played from the 4th string down, so you don't play the 5th or the 6th string. You leave those two out. Only from the 4th string all the way down through the 1st string. The way you put your fingers is you put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then you bar your 1st finger across the 2nd and 1st string. It can be a little bit difficult with the bar on the 1st and 2nd string, so I recommend that you tilt your fingers a little bit like this. It's gonna make it easier to bar across the 1st and 2nd string. Otherwise you can just keep your fingers straight and just tilt your 1st finger to make the bar easy. Another very common way to play this chord is the bar chord, where you put your fingers up like this and you strum all the way down. This is probably more played than the other version I just showed you, so this one you also need to practice a lot. In this one, you bar your 1st finger across all the strings on the 1st fret, and then you put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, you put your 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then you strum all the way down from the 6th string through the 1st string. I would recommend that you practice both of them, but the bar chord is probably going to be used the most, so practice that one a little bit more. And that is how you play your F major chord. The G major chord. Probably one of the most played chord in the history of guitar. This is so important that you know this. It's gonna pop up in so many songs that you know. It's made up by the G, the B and the D, and it's played on the guitar in different versions. So we're gonna be talking about the 3-finger version and the 4-finger version. Let's start with the 3-finger version. Here you have the 3rd fret on the 6th string, you have the 2nd fret on the 5th string, and then you have open 4th, 3rd and 2nd string, and then you have 3rd fret on the 1st string. The way you put your fingers is you put your 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, you put your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and you put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. You leave the 4th, the 3rd and the 2nd string open. Another way to put your fingers on this one, which is very commonly used, is you use your last 3 fingers and you put it like this. It's still the exact same chord, you just use different fingers to play it now. So here you put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and you put your 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, still leaving the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string open. That is the 3-finger version. Now let's practice the 4-finger version, which is probably the most used one, so I will recommend that you know both of them. The 4-finger version looks like this. It's played with the 3rd fret on the 6th string, second fret on the 5th string, open 4th string, open 3rd string, and then 3rd fret on the 2nd string, 3rd fret on the 1st string. And the way you put your fingers here is you put your 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, you put your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, you put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and you put your 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And you leave the 4th and 3rd string open. Practice both the 3rd and 4th finger version. The one you're gonna use is probably the one that's gonna make it easiest to switch into the next chord, or the one that's easiest to switch into from the previous chord. And that is how you play a G major chord. How you doing, guys? Kenneth Klok here. Thank you so much for following along. Please subscribe to my channel, help me grow my channel, and I will see you in the next video.